go. Everything is up and running. Let the little intro clip finish. And now we'll actually get moving. Not that we're not going to have another intro clip here in a minute, but, you know. Yeah. Video games. And it can be all caps, I don't care. Just shout my name. Shout everything. All things are ah. Yes, just overwrite the test, that's fine.
Galatia. A great war raged between Dracula and humanity. Just when it seemed that there was no hope for mankind to prevail, out of the darkness and despair, a champion arose. A true-blooded vampire hunter named Trevor Belmont. Belmont and his comrades triumphantly slew Lord Dracula. A truly glorious victory for all. However, the evil one did not pass from this world in silence. With his final words, Lord Dracula left a demonic curse that enshrouded all of Europe in misery and torment. Ravaged by hideous plague and dire famine, the people's hearts turned black and murderous. The weak were slain without pity, while the land was pillaged and scourged without remorse. 3 years have passed since the death of Lord Dracula, and the invocation of Dracula's curse.
Hey, Stream Elements got it right for a change. Good. It's about damn time you guys got it right again.
Show yourself, Isaac! I know you're here!
Hector! Is that you? I finally tracked you down.
Okay, there's a little bit of glitching in the cutscene.
You tracked
A little
me
bit.
down. I was the one who lured you here. Hector, the fool who betrayed our Lord Dracula.
That matters not. I've come to exact my revenge upon you. For the death of Rosalie!
Oh, and how will you have this
It
revenge?
keeps flashing the first frame of the
When you
cutscene.
were utterly at my mercy.
It's
You
not great.
relinquished your powers. You couldn't even protect your own woman. And now you think to defeat me? Lord Dracula is gone, but his powers are still here in Valatia. Even you must realize.
Devil forging.
Indeed, with this the most forbidden of arts, a wisp of conjured matter can be transformed into a hellish devil. There are but 2 humans who possess this magnificent power. You and I.
Yes. To our lasting shame. But I shed that evil power. Never again will I use it.
Ah, but you will, Hector, and soon you have no choice. Without it, I could crush you in an instant. But that wouldn't be very satisfying, now would it? You deserve a most gruesome fate for the humiliation you brought upon me 3 years ago. Bereft of the power of devil forging, you cannot hope to pursue me. That is why you will reclaim your powers, and thence follow where I lead you. But, in the end, the glorious vengeance you seek will not be yours. 'Twill be mine.
Wait!
That
Isaac!
sure is a design he has. That really is a design. They made that choice.
So be it. I must descend into darkness and reclaim that accursed power once more. Heed my words. I will hunt you down like the beast you are. I will have my revenge.
Okay, off we go. All that arguing out of the way. I seem to recall there's something I can get right around where we started. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, there's the button that opens doors. It's gonna take a hot minute for me to remember how to do anything. Alright, big boy. That's how I block. The blocking itself I won't actually make that much use of, but I'll explain why I'm remembering the habit of hitting that button when we come to that part. There's something we gain relating to that that'll make blocking quite useful. First, we sit in a chair to save the game, so we don't have to go through the intro again. I don't even have that yet. Okay. That's unfortunate. Then again, Hector has no abilities to speak of at all right now because he gave them up. So we'll just have to work on that. This setup still has a little bit of jank to it, looks like. It's not perfect. I'm gonna need to fiddle some more between sessions. I'm not gonna worry over it right now unless it becomes an actual issue. I want that. This is why I was guarding. Because if you jump while guarding, you will dodge. Dodging will be vitally helpful. Hey Cece, how you doing? I'm okay. Got off to a bit of a rough start this morning, which is why I'm only just now starting up. But overall, I think it worked out because it gave me time to test things out with this and make sure I could actually run this as well as I could. And also gave me a chance to double check whether I actually wanted to do Dark Watch, which as it turns out I kind of don't. It does not hold up nearly as well as I thought it did. Oh, good. I didn't really change much recently, but I'm assuming somewhere along the way things must have changed enough. Either that or you had something being weird on your side again. Interesting, considering I did not touch anything. Unless you mean earlier as in days earlier. which would be fair. Just hit this save point right quick. Okay. Yeah, a lot has happened since the last time you were able to be here, so that makes sense. Oh, we got a castle map. While this may seem incredibly easy right now, that's because right now we're dealing with just absolute chumps. It's going to get bad. There's going to be parts of this that are going to be an absolute nightmare. With a little luck, I'll by then remember enough of this game that we can get through it just fine. If not, I know ways around that. We'll figure it out. This is probably the first thing I've ever streamed that I've actually finished before. Because I have beaten this game, but that was a very long time ago. Having some weird dead zone issues with my movement there. Not sure what's going on with that. Guys like this are one you definitely want that quick step we got a little while ago for. Because if he hits me, it's gonna really goddamn hurt. Which is also why those dead zone issues are a bit of a problem. Alright, CC, I appreciate it. There we go. Still mostly have it. One sec. Please. Okay. Yeah, you'll note all those question marks on the menu. That's because there's a lot of abilities and such we currently don't have. We'll be getting them back reasonably quick, though. Yeah, this is going to be a thing we're going to encounter a fair bit. There's going to be a lot of boxes like that that I just cannot currently open. But we're going to be getting our solution to it real soon.
This unearthly power.
Cutscenes are going to glitch a little bit. I apologize for that. There's nothing I can currently do about it.
How conscientious of him. He carved the instructions into stone along with the most difficult visualization. So, that's how badly he wants me to regain my powers. Very well. Heed my words, O great powers of darkness. Release to me the tortured souls. Let me infuse him with my life force and awaken him to the world of the living. Immaculate being, appear before me now!
devil forging, isn't it? Never seen that before. Quite impressive. It's enough to make your blood run cold. Who are you? Oh, my apologies, my lord. I should have offered an introduction. I go by Zed. I'm here for one purpose only. To purify this land of the pestilent curse which infects it.
I see.
You, on the other hand, are pursuing the other Devil Forge Master, are you not? The one you seek fled toward the chapel on the other side of the mountain. He made his escape through the back of the castle.
What concern is this to you?
He is the one protecting the curse. Ergo, he is an impediment to me, and to all those who abide in this land.
I see. Very well. I, Hector, thank you for your help. Now, if you'll forgive me, I must be on my way.
And that right there is a man I will be referring to as the walking red flag, because everything he does makes me incredibly suspicious. Given your current form, I'm just going to call you this. Pretty much, this is going to be our main gimmick for this game, is the summoning of innocent devils. They can be upgraded in a usually two-path system by getting them various gems, and this right here is our solution to those chests we couldn't open. The fairy will open boxes for us. They're also your support devil. I tend not to use the fairy type, at least once I get other types in, but the fairy type is quite good. Now we have the Dragon Crest. It will allow us access to a door I didn't show off, because I knew going that way wasn't going to do us any good. Generally, I wouldn't be answering these so quickly, but this is relatively important, so just bear with me just another moment. you'll notice now we have the summon menu back. It's because we'll be getting quite a few of the things we can summon. A lot of them that I won't be bothering to summon, but we'll have a lot of options. Provided I actually bother to go through the effort of getting them all. And remember where they are. So I seem to recall that a couple of them are a bit odd. My first priority right now is going to be getting a new weapon. The sword's all well and good for right now, but we are going to definitely need something else. That's before we get too far. But once we go use the Dragon Crest, we should be getting a way to solve that problem. Whether we get an actual replacement or not. I seem to recall somewhere along the way here there was a breakable wall, and I don't remember which one it is. So I'm not gonna sit here and just hammer all of the walls, particularly. Because we do get a way to check for hidden walls properly along the way anyway. So it's not a priority. It wouldn't be a Castlevania game of this style without some means of revealing hidden walls. Okay, that walking thing is getting a bit weird. What is going on with that? Nothing else on this setup has been doing that, so I don't know if it's necessarily an actual dead zone problem. Might just be having a bad interaction with the sensitivity on the sticks on this thing. Hard to really guarantee anything on that one. Of course, there's always mermen. Another level for Hector. Which, as you might have guessed, when you see the level up letters near the Innocent Devil text, that's the devil gaining a level, and when it's in the middle of the screen, that's when we, Hector, have gained a level. Ah, there we go. Figured out how to do the right things now. Because you also have heavy attacks you can do, and if you mix them in with your regular attacks, you will, of course, do actual different moves, which will be very useful to us over the course of this game. And it certainly just doesn't hurt to vary up your attacks anyway, just to keep things interesting. Now we have the Bestiary, which is another one of those menu items we didn't have. To quickly demonstrate the various attacks I remember, at least. 1 basic attack and a heavy is the slam you saw me doing. 2 and that is a throw. And 3 is a spin. I don't believe there are any others. Yeah, because when you do the thrust, there's either a really narrow window or it doesn't work. I don't remember which. But it's not reacting right now, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I've got the fairy set to command right now, so whenever I press triangle, I can command it to do its default action, which is going to be heal right now. Later on, it'll actually gain a different move, but it's probably going to forever be on heal. And I'm going to keep hitting the wrong button, because these are in a different layout than they were on the original version that I played, which was actually on the original Xbox. This version, of course, being on the PS2. And as you might expect, you want to save often. Because while the current parts of the game are not particularly dangerous, you can still get yourself killed. Absolutely. If you do something too particularly boneheaded. Now, this may seem a bit odd that I'm just sitting here smashing barrels, but there's stuff hidden behind them. My assumption is they put this here just so that a handful of players who wouldn't think anything of a giant wall of barrels would end up missing these items. Whereas I saw that and went, I'd wonder if I can hit those barrels. Is, you know, gotta break shit. And lo and behold, immediately the barrels start breaking, and I sit there and just chop my way through them and find a health extension. Okay, that dead zone thing is getting a bit out of hand. Let me see if I can fix that. Well, there's nothing for it in here. So it must be something with the emulation. Is it because I changed how I was doing things? It's probably the problem. I could always just unplug it and plug it back in. Try that, but that might just make it all kinds of grumpy. fuck it. Let's see what happens. I might need to restart this in a second. We'll see. Yep, we're good. Yeah, it's still doing it a little bit. It's not as bad at the moment. It's only forward that has the serious issue. Suppose maybe I should just get a new controller. Why does everything break? Why? I remembered immediately where my other PS4 controller was sitting. I would just grab it and plug it in. See if it would pick up immediately. Or whether it would get confused about both of them. The thing is, I've been using this one all day, and I haven't had any stick-related issues otherwise. So it seems real odd that it would just so happen to be happening now. But that also fits completely with my luck, so it's not altogether shocking, just confusing and upsetting. Now you'll notice where we're going right now is off the map. It's because we only got a partial map. I don't remember if I need to gain lock on or if I'm just not hitting the right buttons. Lock on would help immensely against these things when they're circling me like that. Because while I may make this look a little bit easy right now, these controls are not the most responsive. They're pretty damn good, but they're not the most responsive controls for a game like this. Wait, there we go. Okay, I was just hitting the wrong button. Now, in these hallways, locking on's gonna be a bit of a mixed bag. But remembering how to lock on's gonna be important later. Did I go around? Yep, I went around in a circle. Okay. Now, I could just break all of these again, because they have a chance of dropping wine. At least I believe there's a chance. It might be that that one specific one was set to have wine in it. No, there's more. So if I wanted to grind up a bunch of wine bottles, I could. Does wine do hearts or health? I have no idea. Because I don't feel like just randomly drinking one right now. As you can see, this is where all of our stuff is. These will be important soon. And here you can turn on and off all of the passive abilities you have. Here's your typical bestiary. With all the things we've fought so far. You'll notice things have a level next to them. That's both because they actually have a level associated with them, which will be the basis by which they give you experience, and there are multiple versions of a fair few of these enemies. So in order to differentiate between them, they assigned a level tag that way. Now, the early bits are, of course, not exactly inspiring or particularly interesting. But we'll be getting into bigger, better things before too long. I am really impressed with just how well Hector can just goddamn flip everywhere, though. If I wanted to, I could literally flip everywhere. And that would solve my dead zone problem, but it would not be any faster. I don't know if it's actually slower, but it's certainly not any faster. Occasionally you'll run into rooms like this, which are just a trap, more or less. You'll get an item in the middle, and just a ton of enemies will be spawning in. Deal with them all, you can leave the room. With your ill-gotten gains. Can't leave the room till they're all dead, because, as you saw in the other room, there's gonna be those red blade barriers in the way. Kinda can't get through those without dealing with the problem of enemies. Is there another enemy just hanging around somewhere? Nope, we're good. Now, there is probably some farming I'm going to do at some point along the way with this. I don't know if I'll do it live or not, though. Because, heads up, probably not finishing this game in one sitting. A little too long for that, at least for me. There's probably a way you could rush through the game. There we go. There's what I was looking for. The crafting system. This is another thing the fairy's good for. You'll notice it's floating around prompting me with question marks. That's because there's something I can do here. Specifically, I can break this pillar. And that lowers a staircase, or in this case, lowers the ceiling to make a ramp. And that'll allow us to proceed. First, combining. Anything you've never seen before will be shown as question marks, whether you can make it or not. It'll be lit up in white if you can make it, and dark gray if you can't if you can make it, rather. For fun, I'll be making the knuckle. So I can make the axe as well. Yeah, I'll make an extra short sword so I can make the axe. Because some of the weapons you can make will also be what you need to make other ones. And of course we'll be making the armor, because we're gonna need armor. Especially if I'm gonna be silly and be running around with the punch rings. Now, most of the weapon types actually have a wildly differing moveset attached to them. We even have a spinning bird kick. Which, that's just fun. And this is your explanation of how Innocent Devil Evolution works. Based on what weapon you're using, the enemies will drop up a different color crystal. And based on what crystals they consume will determine what they turn into. Though not all of them will have a use for certain crystals, from what I remember. And as it showed at the end there, you can turn off them collecting crystals if you're using something you don't want them to be consuming. Just like I did the first time, I'm not really going to worry about that. Whatever happens with them happens. Now, the reason why I didn't immediately whip out the axe to demonstrate it is because the axe has basically the same moveset as a sword. At least that axe does. I don't remember if there are other axes later that don't. My memory is telling me yes, but I don't want to guarantee that at this current point. More enemies have spawned in. There they are. These mages can be a problem. Not these specifically. These low-level ones are no threat to anybody. But higher-end mages later can be really nasty. But as you might have gathered at this point, this is literally just a three-dimensional version of the classic Metroidvania Castlevania games. It plays exactly the same in terms of how the overall everything works. So if you played those, you know what you're looking at. You just have more movement options and more polygons to look at, more or less. There's really not that much else mechanically different here. You have to worry about dodging in 3 dimensions, and you have to worry about enemies coming from all of those angles. Other than that, basically the same thing. Which is probably why I enjoy this, since I like all of those. The camera is being a lot more squirrely than I remember it being, but I may just not be used to it anymore. Now, the only annoying thing these zombies do is they'll puke on the floor in front of themselves, like that. That puke will damage you. But occasionally you'll find a cross laying around after killing something, and that'll just wipe the screen for you. Now, these skeleton blazes, or are they zombie blazes in this one? No, they're still skeleton blazes. They're annoying, because they just dodge around like jerks the whole time. And as you saw with that one, they can basically teleport. On top of them just taking a beating with our current weapons, they're annoying. Still not much of a threat, but they're more of a threat than anything else we've dealt with so far. Or aside from the big guys. Thankfully, even while locked on, you have full control over which way you're going with your attacks. You just have your camera locked in the direction of the enemy you're locked onto. So that'll be an important thing to keep in mind as well. I don't think I want to go this way right now. Now, I would not be surprised if I'm missing a bunch of stuff because I've just been beelining in a particular direction. But this is also more or less what I did when I played this in the first place. I'm not even, like, trying to go for a fast playthrough or anything. This is literally just how I end up playing these. I go in a direction until it stops letting me go that way, and then I wander around elsewhere. Particularly with Knuckles, the puke piles are a real aggravation. Now, there's something specific in this room that we'll be taking a moment to look at before we go anywhere else. It's not a mechanically important thing, but it's worth looking at. Now this right here is an electric chair. The fact that it's an electric chair is not the relevant part about it. It's a chair we can sit in. They even have a little blurb about each chair in this game. But that's the whole point, is just like many Castlevania games from the days of Symphony of the Night forward, you can sit in a bunch of the chairs. Because you can. It's just a thing. I don't know the exact reasoning. I never bothered to look it up. I've just went, okay, I can sit in chairs, and moved on with my life. Once upon a time, I did actually try to find all the chairs in this game, too. Just for sake of, because I like this game. I don't remember if I managed it or not. I think I ended up missing some somewhere. There might actually be something you get for getting all of the chairs. I don't remember. These guys are where we start actually having some trouble. Just because these guys take such a beating. And I technically could just avoid them. But I want to demonstrate just how goddamn durable they are. At least for our kind of awful weapons at the moment. course, it doesn't help that I can't necessarily walk forward properly still. So that makes positioning a little bit complicated at times. These guys aren't much of a threat as long as you're paying attention and actually dodging, unlike I was with the last one. Because really, none of this stuff is an actual threat to me. I have too much health at the current state of things for much of this to really kill me. Now that we have an extra piece of aluminum, I can either make a better sword or make a better helmet. Since I'm using the punch rings right now, I'm going to go ahead and make the better helmet. Because that is twice the defense of the leather helmet we just had. And we can easily get more aluminum because that is just something that those armor knights are going to be dropping for us. I think I went the wrong way. Because I went in too many circles in this room. Thankfully, we can break their guard. Which is a nice change from most of the 2D games, where anything with a big shield usually just blocked indefinitely. You know, like the final guards and such. So you usually had to jump over them or throw something through them to deal with them. Now you can just pummel away and you'll get through eventually. Not an important thing, but it makes it more convenient for lazy people like me who don't want to move when they're punching something. Death by kidney punch. And that's the other upsetting thing about the wizards. They will heal other enemies that are on the screen. And this is a very important upgrade. We can now dodge twice. This makes us significantly more mobile on the battlefield. And is basically the best thing in this game. As long as you time it well, you basically are untouchable. Okay, that's everything in this room dealt with. Save point, which will sort out the bit of damage I've taken. Trying to back out of it with circle, but that just brings up the map legend. Or in this case, map instructions, really, because there's not really a legend to that map. Now, those who know me probably are getting a feel for why I like certain games from this as well, because this was a game I played when I was pretty young. This was another teen year game, not super young, but early on enough that it helped form my tastes a bit. Oof. If they're gonna start spawning big rooms like this constantly, I'm probably gonna want to swap back off the punch rings for something with a bit more reach again. As fun as these are, I think I might be better off waiting till I get stronger ones before I can really make use of them. Do I want to go up a floor? Oh, yeah, you can even, like, tilt the map and do all this with it. Which I have no idea why you would ever want to do this. Because the map is flat. You can spin it in 3D! Wee. Because, you know, 3D. Thing is, we've been on the basement floor. Basically done down there. Oh yeah, I think we're actually supposed to be going out that way, and I've just been fucking around over here this whole time. Can also go up to the 3rd floor, though. So, for the hell of it, we may as well go on up to the 3rd floor. I just start getting a hell of a headache for some reason, though. Hopefully that's not a sign we're about to get a really nasty storm. Oh, looking outside, that's a maybe. So, that's a thing. I'll take out a couple more of these armor knights, so I can hopefully get some more aluminum. Aluminum is going to be useful for a few other things down the line, too. So I want to get as much of it as I can. But their drop rate's not great, and we will find more of it along the way. But it can't hurt to get a bit more experience, get the aluminum and all that. That is the one gripe I have with this game, is the fact that you can sometimes accidentally leave rooms when it's one of those open doorways. You can either chuck yourself through the door, or something can chuck you through the door. And it'll get a bit problematic, like here and there. Not, like, out of hand problematic, but it can definitely happen now and then, and it is annoying every time it happens. Oh, there we go. I was rewarded for my diligence with a piece of aluminum, though. Let's get this sword made. Foil. Notice it does a fair bit more damage than the punching gauntlets. Not that that's a surprise, considering this is an upgraded weapon. I believe this is also a different moveset. Yeah. Okay. Good. Steam, what are you freaking out about? Why are you mad? Oh, you want to update. Well, too bad. You can think about that in hell for a while. Okay. So that's the direction I want to go. That way. As you might imagine with this, the only real issue we're going to have is a narrow attack line, which is something Lock-On's very good for. But we'll get our first fairy upgrade now. To a lethal. Now, at the moment, that's not really going to do a whole hell of a lot for us. It needs to gain a few more levels before it matters. But now we've got a fairy with some clothes on following us instead of a weird, just all greenish blue one. I don't recall if we have any indication of anything. No, doesn't look like we have any information about that. I don't remember if that's a thing we get later or if that's just something you don't have information on. The innocent devil raising aspect of this game was something I really did not interact that much with when I was playing this the first time. I interacted with it enough to make sure I had something useful all alongside me, and that was about as far as I went with it. Now, admittedly, half the time Hector here's using this foil kinda wrong, but it's a video game. By kinda wrong, I mean very wrong, but I'm not gonna get into that too much right now. Camera. And this right here is the final thing about wizards that's goddamn aggravating. They just keep running away. Stupid little floaty bastards. Oh, you're over here. Come here, you. Ah, I forgot about that trick. That move's real good. I like that one. Weird side-to-side sliding move. It's very similar to a move from one of the earlier Dynasty Warriors that would just spam constantly because it hits large amounts of enemies in one go. It was, I think, 3 or 4? One of the PS2 ones. I don't remember which one it was. Missed my exit for floor 3. God damn it. It's very possible to just be in this loop for an eternity because you don't realize where you're going. Unless you actually look at the map, or pay attention and notice that there's a staircase. Ah, we're finally on floor 3. Still having that weird bit of jank with the running. That's gonna keep happening to me. I'm gonna keep hitting the wrong button just because of the slight button layout difference from one version to the other. Ah, yes, the classic bone dragons. Ow. Would you not? Okay, seriously. This guy needs to go before I deal with this problem, clearly. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep getting caught in a chain of stupid here. There we go. No. Bad. Of course, there's the other one over there, which for some reason was having nothing to do with that whole fight. I guess I was out of its reach. Hard to say. Now, like the last time I streamed, this is probably only going to be a couple hours. Because just another day where I'm not super feeling it, and if this headache continues, that's definitely going to cut us down on a bit as well. Which, it'll be what it'll be. In 2 hours, I can get us through this first zone, probably most of the way through the second one, if not through the third one. Depends on how well I remember where I'm going, and how many times I get stuck in situations like this, where I'm just stuck in a damn corner because I'm being stubborn and don't dodge out of it. I think I can just hit my way out of it. There we go, he learned a new move, Time Heal. Which, Time Heal may sound like a weird concept, but literally all Time Heal is regeneration. You will get temporary regeneration whenever you cast that. And it's alright. I tend to stick with regular heal either way, just because instant gratification, but Time Heal is pretty good. I think Time Heal does actually heal a bit more. So if you're just traveling around and you're injured, you may as well use Time Heal. Oh, we got another serious room. Oh yeah, and one other different move is if you're guarding and you attack, you'll do a launching move to send enemies into the air. I don't think I ever used that when I was playing this game originally. I think I never made the connection that you could even do that. Or if I did, I just wrote it off as not being particularly useful. But it's good for getting enemies away from you, because you can just send one up into the air and get him out of the way. Or as demonstrated there, pursue. This has most of the basic aspects of your typical character action fighting game, like your Devil May Cry's and things like that. So most of the things you'd expect to see are here, albeit in a bit of a watered down version in some cases. Like Like, you don't have that in-depth a combo setup. You do have some decent combos. As you've probably noticed by now, I'm mostly just reusing the same ones. Because with only, like, 4 combos to work with, really, you're gonna find just, like, 1 or 2 that are just generally more useful to you, and you'll just keep using them. That's just how it goes. It'd be kind of nice to have a grading system show up on the side for this, to encourage you to do wilder and wilder combos. But, it's fine. I feel like that flame animation's going faster than it's supposed to be. I don't know what's telling me that, but I feel like that's not correct. This is a familiar staircase, isn't it? It's the usual climb these stairs to fight Dracula stairs. Well, old Fangface ain't home. That said, even though Drax's not home, you'll notice that this door's different. That's because this is a boss door. We do have a fight of some significance in here. Our first boss. Big old Gear Knight. Now, I had started replaying this game after I beat it the first time. On a higher difficulty, because one becomes available once you've beaten the game. I was able to do this fight without getting hit on that replay. Didn't quite manage it this time, sadly. But just know that it's doable, and it's actually not that hard. Because as you saw there, he was having a devil of a time hitting me. Because I was so close. As long as you stay close and high up, half of his attacks really just won't make the connection to you. And as you can see, our air attacks allow us to pretty much just stay in the air indefinitely, as long as you don't make a mistake. That's the first boss done and dusted. Or is it? Yeah, that's not the end of the fight. He lives up to his name by going a bit crazy. Which, for all of this is a pretty simple design, I like this design. It's kind of neat how it just turns into a bunch of gear snakes. Unfortunately for him, he's still a bit of a pansy. So we'll have this over and done with in a minute here. Now that his ass has exploded, now we don't have to deal with him anymore. And we are rewarded with another chair. Now, I don't remember if that's a healing point or if that sends me back. I feel like that's just a healing point. Yeah, that's a full heal. But no, in reality, this is an elevator. You sit in the chair, it takes you down below to where we want to be. I'm pretty sure we could have gone the other way that we saw on the map and ended up in a different area first. But we can handle this area just fine. The Balaji Mountains. I seem to recall that I ended up starting to call these the Bullshit Mountains after a while. First and foremost, we get a new innocent devil. Innocent Devil Magmard. Lognart? Yeah, actually, I kind of like Lognart. We'll keep that. He's a big old brawler, but he also has a shield. And this is the big mechanic for this Innocent Devil that I never really used yet again. There's a lot of deeper mechanics to this game that I just flat didn't use when I was younger. I didn't need to. Outside of a couple parts of this game is really not that hard. You can just kind of bumble your way forward and be absolutely fine. Yeah, basically, if I give him the go command, he'll just do a little explosion. Unless it's at a chain point, in which case he'll do a special attack. And whenever I'm not giving him commands, he's just gonna beat the shit out of things. I'm just gonna let him have fun here. He just goes to town. Yeah, get him, Log. Get him. Kick his ass. Now, unlike the fairy, the fighter can actually take damage, as you saw there, and that will reduce his heart count. And if they run out, they will actually be destroyed temporarily. Now, I don't remember what weapon I want to actually use with Magnard out in order to get the one I want. He's got a really cool form he can turn into, but I seem to recall that it's a pain in the ass to make appear, because it takes a very specific combination of gems to make the various upgrades you need to make that one happen. So, without me looking it up, it's probably not going to happen, which means it's just not going to happen. Unless I suddenly decide to be a lot more committed to that idea between sessions and set that all up, it's probably not going to be a thing. Now, you might have noticed that those skeletons kept coming back. That's because there was, in fact, an infinite amount of skeletons there until you deal with the orc. That's designed to just sit there and piss you off, pretty much. Or, more accurately, intended to wear you down through force of numbers. Problem is, since I actually bothered to make a real weapon, we just rip through skeletons like they're not even there. So that's not really an issue. Now, this jet black should make a couple things. Yep, we can make spears now. I'll make the one out of the wild memory for now. The bamboo lance. Just need a short sword and a jet black, and I can make another sword. Broadsword. This one's not made out of cardboard. And once we get one more jet black, we can make another armor piece. Which I believe is the hard leather? might work in battle, possibly, perhaps. Still don't have any accessories, no other armor. Now you'll notice immediately that this bamboo lance is a lot slower. Because the bamboo lance is also a bit crap, even as far as spears go. But it'll work well enough for showing off the moveset. Now where spears really shine in this game at least is in the air. And I immediately opened the door and went through it without meaning to. So, suddenly cutscene.
It can't be. That's impossible. She can't be alive.
Hello, not Aerith.
Oh. May I be of service?
No. Forgive me. My name is Hector. What are you doing in a place like this?
I could ask you the same question, sir.
I am
She's got me
searching for
there.
someone. A man bearing the same crest I'm wearing.
And this man, is he your enemy or your friend?
You sound as if you know him.
Yes, quite so. Now answer me. Be he your friend or foe?
He is my most
Technically,
bitter
yes.
I see.
Used to be friend, now enemy.
I shall help you.
Pardon me, milady, but by what reason would you offer me this boon? Indeed, by what reason should I trust it?
Your enemy is my enemy. That is reason enough. If you are a Devil Forge Master, you shall need a place to keep your little friends safe. Rest assured, you have no reason to refuse my help.
You seem quite knowledgeable. Who are you exactly?
A witch. I escaped from the Western lands where we were hunted like vermin. I have the power to envision the future.
How interesting. And your name?
Julia. My house is further on. I shall prepare an elixir that may be of use to you. Farewell, for now.
It always makes me laugh how they have all of this just slightly fancy speech to them,
The very image of Rosalie.
and yet everyone has these incredibly simple names like Hector and Julia and Zed. It's like the names tend not to go over 6 letters. Just gets me every time with that. 'Cause I just feel like there's this weird disconnect. But now, whenever we see this door, we have a teleport. But we can't do anything with that teleport right now because it has nothing to connect to. But there's a very important reason why this particular teleport is here. And that is, well, because of this door, for one. Which we can't do anything with right now. And it means it when it says no man can open that door. That's because Magmart here is supposed to be able to open those, but I don't think I can do it quite yet. Now, the other reason why that teleport's here is because Julia's shop is here and nowhere else. She has set up shop on the Bajit Mountain for one reason or another.
Welcome. What can I do for you?
Now, you can rename... I think you can rename your innocent devils here. You can certainly store and claim them. You can also make new ones here. But we'll get into the concept of devil shards later, once it becomes a bit more relevant. She sells the basic versions of each weapon. Death dolls, which I made a bit of use of when I played the game last time, specifically for the end. But when we get there, it'll make sense why.
Will that be all?
Suffice it to say, the end of this game's a bit rough.
Do your best.
Now, having met Julie and gotten the shop set up and everything, we will now save the game again. Hector, don't sass me. Move. Want this. There we go. Now we have the power to steal. And it's not kidding. It's only when this marker on an enemy turns purple can you steal from them. And that's usually on one very specific frame of their animation, on one specific attack. You have to be locked on, and you have to time it right. But stealing in this game is incredibly rewarding if you can get good at it. I was pretty damn good. Some enemies are incredibly forgiving about it. As you saw there, their frame for it was incredibly long. Like, basically 90% of their attack was an open frame for you to steal. And you can steal everything from consumable items to resources to be used in crafting, some of which can only be gained via stealing. Now, I will say, if you're actively trying to steal from enemies, put away your combat devil. He will fuck it up every time. He will just fucking come in and hammer the shit out of what you're trying to steal from. And if I remember right, you can only steal from each enemy once. Once you steal from them, just kill them and move on, because you're not getting anything else out of them. Now, the reason why I had gotten pretty good at stealing was I was planning on filling out the bestiary entirely. Because every enemy has a spot in their bestiary for what you can steal from them, in addition to what they drop. Which also means going back to the beginning of the game to go fight the things at the beginning, just so you can make sure you get those seals filled out. There's no benefit to doing it, so I wouldn't bother. Now, you'll notice he has a steal entry. That may or may not matter. I say that on that one specifically because I actually don't remember whether you see that thing again or not. Now, there's another mechanic we have not yet gained that's going to relate to stealing in a very aggravating way. But first, we've got some undead cannons to deal with, guarded by some orcs. Just ignore the orcs, go straight for the cannons. The cannons will make your life a living hell if you don't deal with them. But once you deal with them, you can get on the cannon yourself and have a great time. Okay, the cannons are dealt with. Fortunately, we're not positioned such that I can hit the orcs. I've managed to do that before, where you can immediately whip around and blast the orcs, and that's just a lot of fun. Switch him to guard mode so he doesn't get killed. Now the reason why you need that cannon is you can't actually destroy the gate there. You have to use the cannon. To the best of my knowledge. I seem to recall I did try at one point. But I may have also just run out of patience before I managed to break it. That life bar up top, of course, being your life on this cannon. Is this cannon can be destroyed. Here comes a whole group of armor knights that you can just ruin with cannon fire. Look at him blocking the cannonballs like a champ. Not so much for his friends, though, who run straight into the blast. Just a good old light brigade charge over here. Now you'll notice, if I aim at the ground around them, I can actually hit them even while their shield is up. Actually, I've got more aluminum. Can I use that for something before I get into this fight? If I had one more piece of jet black, yes. Oh well. I'm gonna get him out of there for the moment. Because he's just gonna sit there and guard and get hit. Which does admittedly put all their focus on me, but that's okay. I have plenty of health. Yeah, that right there's a fun move with the spears. To just slide across the universe. It really flies in the face of the general speed of the spear. It's like, nope, I'm real slow. Oh, guess what? I'm across the universe. Aha! I think it's time to put the spear away. As fun as that is, it's not really effective. We'll whack things with the axe for a little bit, even though it's the same moveset as the regular sword. Believe that these save points also recharge your innocent devils entirely. Skeleton Blaze is an annoying one to steal from, because his only steal time is when he's dashing around like an idiot. Which, of course, is also a time when it's kind of a pain to, you know, be close to him. I don't remember how I got this one. I seem to recall that he actually gives me something pretty useful, so I want it. It's just gonna be a bit of an annoyance to get for a little while here. Ah! I just had a little bit better direction control over where I'm stealing, I would have this already. But unfortunately, once he starts the reach for the steal, you lose control. You have no power here anymore. Got it. Okay, no, it must be the higher level one. Because a potion is definitely not something I would consider worth remembering as far as stealing goes. Now, orcs are easy to steal from, but they only just give a bit of gold. Generally, the easier it is to steal from something, the less likely you are to care about what you're going to be stealing. There are some notable exceptions to that. But we can cross that bridge when we come to it. I just like the fact that there's actually a fairly active stealing mechanic in this game, as opposed to the typical types of stealing mechanics where you usually just either have a chance to steal when you're hitting something, or there's like a command to steal, but there's no requirements to it, or it's stealth-based and you have to pickpocket. This, you actually have to, like, catch them in a moment where they're basically vulnerable. It helps break up the combat a little bit. Where is your stealing frame? There it is. I waited too long. I need to bait him into doing the big spin again. No, don't just hit me. Spin. Do the spin, like this. See this? This is what I want you to do. Yes, that. I doubt I really cared about getting a jet black by stealing from him, but it does get me what I needed, so worth it? Now we can make the dung spear, which I think might actually be the strongest weapon I've got right now. Broadsword's 28. No, the broadsword's still the strongest weapon. Which we played around with the axe enough. Since it's the same, we'll just move on. Now, ghosts are annoying to steal from, because they'll just sometimes just fuck off through the wall. Just to be a pain. Good job, lock on camera. Could you kindly come back out of the wall, sir? Now, I think ghosts are going to be a problem to steal from right now, due to a mechanic we don't have access to right now, I don't think, judging from the way that was going. Is in a minor spoiler, we gain the ability to perfect guard at some point. And some enemies can only be stolen from after you've successfully perfect guarded their attack. Now, a perfect guard is what people most often these days would know as a parry. You do to things like the Souls games and such. Because the mechanics are identical. You literally just guard at the right time, and the attack will be deflected. Instead of just you taking less damage, you will just not take any at all, and they will be momentarily stunned. Ah, there we go. There's the chart I was looking for before. This shows you what you need to get one of the paths. It won't tell you what the path is or does, but it'll tell you that the path exists. Yeah, these basic ghosts can be just blocked and then stolen from, but they also just drop a little bit of gold, so it's not really worth stealing from them that much. Not like going out of your way to get it anyway. I'm not sure where that chart is. Oh wait, yeah, it's in this menu. So you'll notice if we had a spear early on, or used the axe, we could have taken our ferry down the other path. Instead, we're going down the lethal path, which will now need either fist, axe, question mark, or sword or spear. Up to that number. And it'll also tell you if you're missing an ability in that form. But I believe you can get all the abilities of a previous form in a future form as well. Right now, I believe I want to take him to the right, so we want to get more sword with him still. Each one of them, you'll notice down there at the bottom, where the little Hector symbol is, that's what stats that devil is applying to us, because they do give a stat bonus as well. Like, he actually improves my strength by 12 while he's out. I'm gonna bring him back now that I've healed up a bit. Both so that he can get some more training, and so that I get that huge strength boost. I'm gonna put him back on guard whenever I find something I want to try to steal from. And while they're casting is when you can steal from the wizards. Because, you know, they're a bit distracted casting. Cockatrice can be stolen from when it's breathing its stone breath. Just gotta encourage it to do that again. Come on, try that again. My amenity's a little dizzy. Ow. I said stone breath, not charge. Jerk. Hey. Do the thing. These things are real derpy because they'll run around and just kind of eventually just fall on their face, as you saw there. 100 gold. A little bit more worth it, but not anything important. Some more jet black. Now, once we get to a certain area, you'll notice that I'm going to be trying my damnedest to steal from a specific enemy, and that's because that is one that I remember has an item you can only get. Or at least I'm 90% sure you can only get by stealing, and it is going to be a pain, but it is going to be really worth it. It makes something really good. might want to try to steal from these too, but I think these might be problematic to steal from. 'Cause these might be one that you have to perfect guard. I remember these being problems to steal from. It was either a case of you had to perfect guard them, or the animation they needed to do was a pain to convince them to do. For now, I'm going to kill one and then work on the other one. The good news is, I can't think of any enemies that you have to attack to steal from, necessarily. So there's no, like, guaranteed diminishing return there in that they would end up dying by the time you successfully stole from them. After a certain amount of mistakes or anything. Usually the limiting factor for stealing is your own ability to survive making mistakes. Okay, they're gonna keep spawning more skeletons, and they don't seem to have any interest in actually doing anything interesting or being stolen from, so we're just gonna end that. We will find more efforts. Hello there. Good evening. How are you doing? Happy Good Friday to you too. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Got a bit of a headache, but that's life. Working through it. It is going to cut the broadcast down a bit, but it won't be too significant. Seems like one of those days where everybody's getting one. Okay, we're up to another boss. Did I save at that save point? I'm not worried about it. This is almost certainly going to lead to regret, but it'll be fine. Right, it's this fight. Yeah, this might not be fine. Especially if I'm going to be stubborn and try to steal from the Wyvern. Which I probably shouldn't try for. But knowing me, I might go for it. Especially since we're actually going through its health pretty well. He's chewing through Logart pretty good, though. To the point where I'm going to recall him out of this fight so he doesn't get destroyed. It doesn't particularly matter if he gets destroyed, but it also doesn't really matter if he's here for the fight either at this point. And I don't need the healer. Matter, you can't hit me? That's the ground. Well done. You've hit the ground really hard. I think he's mad. Yep, I think he's really mad at me. Why don't you come down here and tell me about it? Aye. 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 Yeah, basically that bite attack is the big concern in this fight. That and the line of fire. Don't let either of those hit you, and this fight's basically, you're already done. Okay, now I'm gonna call the healer out. So I'm not 100% sure if it can actually take damage or not, and I didn't want it taking incidental damage from me trying to dodge. And having it get in the way of a bite. Now, the weird issue I'm having with my stick is going to be an issue in this fight in terms of getting back to the face to do damage, because that's the only part of it that will take damage. But other than that, we basically have this under control. He tried to fake me out and switch to the tail swipe. More or less, this is just going to take a bit. That's the biggest problem I'm going to have with this one. Oh, look at you, actually using your fire breath on the ground. And actually aiming with it a bit. Though I think... Oh, god damn it. I think that was the opening to steal from him, actually. I think I saw purple right before I hit him. So that's unfortunate. Oh well. That is going to sadly mean this is going to be a steal opportunity we straight up aren't going to get. But since I'm not aiming to fill out the bestiary anyway, that's fine. Ooh. Easy there, big guy. Or girl. I'm not gonna judge. You might be a lady wyvern. Okay, no, it doesn't look like there was an opportunity there to steal. Okay. And I still don't know what the steal opportunity for this fight is. There might not even be one. I'm gonna hedge bets and pop one potion just in case I fuck up somewhere right before the end. Because we all know I'm very good at that. But nope, that absolutely was a waste. Ah, well. Just means I go steal from another skeleton. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's just one of the more unceremonious deaths. It just kind of melts. No fanfare, no anything, just it went splooge. And by going through this door over here, as you probably saw on the map, we enter a new area. Garibaldi Temple. Where we start facing higher level skeletons. pretty good music track. A little slow and a little relaxed, but it's pretty good. And take your lunch money, bye. After you steal from an enemy, you don't even have to deal with them. You can just steal and run. Which, as far as these guys go, they're not worth my time to kill at this point, so I'm just gonna leave. These I have to kill, so we'll get rid of them. I'm reasonably confident that I can't actually steal from Efrits right now, which is why I didn't even bother to try this time. We can worry about that once we get perfect guarding and see if that is the answer. If it isn't, then I'll be very confused. Because there are a couple things with some real odd steel windows, and the Efrits might be one of them? But if they are, I haven't the foggiest how to steal from them, and I'm just not going to worry about it. The real character showing up here.
I've been waiting for you, Hector. Devil Forge Master. How do you know me? Who are you? Saint Germain. I won't bandy words with you. I have an urgent request. Please, refrain from pursuing Isaac any further. Bastard! So you're with Isaac? But that does not follow. Isaac wishes to fight me. For what purpose do you make this request? This will not make sense to you, but to put it simply, I seek to maintain the flow of a greater will. This is pointless. Out of my way! Your beloved was killed on false allegations that she was a witch. I know how you feel, and I sympathize truly, but please look past your own... How do you know of these things? That I cannot tell. I know far more than you imagine, but I cannot act upon that knowledge. That is my arrangement.
I do like his coat.
I have no choice but to excuse myself. Please, consider my request. The world hangs in the balance. Goodbye. Who was that?
Now, as you might have gathered from what Saint Germain was talking about, and the way he kind of, teleported away, there's a lot more to that man than meets the eye. He's... well... we'll not get into that right now. Let's just say the situation with him is going to be complicated. Perfectly good stained glass, and you guys just have to ruin it. Gotcha. Okay, just a 50 gold steel. But you gave me real steel that I can use. Not the movie or the video game. Just the metal. Makes the next axe, and I know it makes a bunch of other stuff, but I'm guessing I'm missing something for that, so we're gonna go ahead and just make the axe. Or in this case, the mace. Because maces fall under the axe category for sake of simplicity in this game. But I believe they do have a different moveset. might be different. Nope, that's the same. It does have a really big whoosh around it for reasons. So we'll go ahead and use that for a while. For sake of variety. And it's stronger than the broadsword, so, you know. Oh, actually, that might complicate matters. Yeah, because that would take him down the other path. Well, that just means we'll bring out the ferry for a bit, since the ferry, I don't particularly care what path it takes. Ah, yes. These little bastards, the Fleamen. Because every Castlevania has to have Fleamen in it. And they don't even drop anything good. They're just here to be a pain in the ass. Thankfully, with this mace, we just splatter them across the pavement without really much effort. They are going to be one of many aggravations in this place. This is the place I was talking about, where I'm going to be attempting to farm a particular steel item, and it's going to get to be a big pain in the ass. So I probably won't do too much of that grinding live. I'll do it the first time, so that you guys can see it, and then worry about it another time. Because we'll want what we can get from it, but I don't think you guys are going to want to see what that entails. The only combat move that these fairies will learn that I remember, poison powder. Is it good? No. Does it exist? I guess. Get used to just hearing, go, yeah, go, yeah. Unless I feel like farming and or paying for lots of potions, this is gonna be our way to heal. There's an uncursed potion over here. Just fucked off through the wall again. Bastards. Now, the biggest question on my mind is, where are those things I was thinking about? Why does this appear to have been a dead-end hallway? Where I don't remember one being. I actually don't remember there being a dead-end hallway in here at all. I just remember wrong, I guess. In theory, that's possible. It has been, like, 10 years, probably. Mostly just trying to find a save point. This is the opposite of a save point. This is danger. Not serious danger, but definitely minor danger. If it was serious danger, I'd actually be dodging. So these guys do hurt a lot. I would highly recommend anyone not familiar with the game take them seriously. Don't do what I do and just stand there and eat damage from them like a fool. Still just magical tickets, even though they're upgraded. Okay. Staircase, that won't lead to a safe point. Might be one. Yep, there we go. Gonna disregard him because he's gonna take a while to kill again. Similar case with these flea men, they're just not worth the time it'll take. And now we found another thing. Specifically, the Garibaldi map. Little bastards. Flea men remain the worst thing in this entire series. Maybe not bar none the worst thing, but they're definitely really high on the list of awful things. Are we going in a circle? Not quite yet. As you can see by the splotches everywhere and all that, things have gone real good in this church. There's nothing wrong here at all. And again, a church attached to Dracula's castle, probably not the best. Hey, Shifu. How you doing, friend? In the box. Marker mode is not what I need, game. I need perfect guard. I think is here, actually. I remember first starting to use perfect guard here. So it's most likely that it's actually physically here somewhere. Oh, and this is the other problem with time heal, by the way, is while time heal's active, you can't use the instant heal at all. Because your innocent devil can only do one thing at a time. So even though he's already finished casting the time heal, he's still kind of stuck there anyway. It's a bit inconvenient. Which is the other reason why I don't tend to use time heal unless I got all the time in the world to wait for it. As demonstrated there, though, the Fleamen aren't that big a problem, because if you just keep moving, they have a devil of a time keeping up with you and actually attacking. Gonna go ahead and hit that save point, and then we're gonna poke our head into the next section of this cathedral, and that'll probably do it. This headache is starting to get to me a bit. Figure another like 20-30 minutes or so. I forget exactly how big this cathedral is, but if it's small enough, I'll just go ahead and finish it. Ah, I remember this part. These guys are one of the ones I'm going to be wanting to steal a bunch from. Missed. Holy Man's Vein. These are not the one that's hard to steal from, though. I will want to be stealing a lot from them, but they're not the one that's a problem. Now, we can't use those Holy Man Veins in our crafting yet. There's another piece of the puzzle we need. But just trust me when I say what we get from making things out of that is going to be worth it. Oh, that poison's gonna complicate things greatly. Because he has to actually manage to do the right attack for the steel to be available, and the poison's just gonna keep on interrupting him. God damn it, Fairy, why? Okay, I think he's not poisoned anymore. Another Holy Man Vein. Oh, that's the end of that. Nope, 2 of them's not enough to do anything. I think it's just because I'm missing a different item. Pretty sure I know what the other item is, but we haven't seen it, of course, yet. I think this might just be a pointless room of just aggravate me with flea men, so I'm just gonna leave. The steal opportunity with you? Okay, there's too many of you. Hold that thought. We'll steal from one of them, not 3 of them. Okay, keeping you on camera enough to try to steal from you is just being a pain. Probably not worth it anyway. Upgrading the fairy again. Or not. These are devil shards. What you use these for is you can then make another copy of the innocent devil, but it starts back from the first version of it, allowing you to acquire both of the trees available for it, as demonstrated there. Damn it, he pushed me away from the door when I tried to go through it. He didn't want me to go. Now those guy, the blue guy right there is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm going to try to keep him alive until after I've dealt with the rest of the things here. Because he's going to be the problematic one to steal from. I want to say it's on that little teleport jump he does that I can steal. Yep, there it is. Oh, he just drops Holy Man Veins too, so he's not the one I'm looking for. He is a bit of a problem to steal from, but he's not the one I was remembering, I guess. Right, that might be the thing, is his regular drop, the Night Vein, is a terrible drop rate. That might be the thing. I just remember there being a real nuisance tied to that guy. We can make a better lance, we can make a better helmet. Let's start by making a better sword. We need another short sword for that. Which makes the Zweihander. A little bit of a change from what we've had before. He's a big old boy. And it's a satisfying weapon to use. Even while it can be a bit of a pain to use as well. Oh, I think I remember what I need to do here, actually. Lognart, I need you. Come here, big guy. No? Might need a different ability for him. Oh well, worry about it later. Now this one I seem to recall having a problematic steal prompt as well. Basically, like half the things in here, which basically is the half that are things we haven't previously seen, all have problematic steal prompts to a degree. This might actually be a perfect guard one. So we're just gonna get rid of him for now. I'm pretty sure I still have the bestiary for this game bookmarked from all that time ago. When I carried over my Firefox bookmarks onto Chrome. I might look all that up between sessions at some point. But I'd rather try to refigure them out first. Yeah, it might be when they do the bomb move for the skeleton... for the Blaze Masters, rather. That might be where you get the steal prompt, which is what makes it a pain, because they're in such an awkward position. Ancient Memory. That's another one we want. There we go, 2 more Night Veins as well, which works out perfectly. I need a Gano, Ancient Memory, and all that, which I need a short sword to make another Gano. Okay. That's still the same thing we saw before. This needs the Ancient Memory, which I believe is the Kestis. Make new armor. also have yet another sword. I don't want to make the sword right now because I believe that sword's actually not particularly good. That one I think might be one of the joke weapons. One of these might actually be a good weapon. Go ahead and make this because we don't have to worry about anything else with that. I can get more ancient memories, so it's not a big issue. If I don't use it perfectly the first time. I'm just trying to decide which one I want first. And I think I'll go with the one that needs the most parts, which will be this one. It makes a club. I kind of regret my life choices. Considering, you know, it's weaker than the mace and all of that. And now we got a ceremonial tool, which is another crafting item. A short sword, a gano, a ceremonial tool, and a wild memory. Make that. And that's the only new thing we get. So let's make a couple more short swords. This is, by the way, why I made sure to get so much bronze by killing so many skeletons. Is because I knew I needed a absolute stupid amount of those short swords. This makes the Ada. Which I think has something special about it, which is why it's worthwhile. It's otherwise not the best. But I think it actually does do, like, holy damage or something. It's also, as it says, just generally not bad. I think it's got that extra attack at the end of the combo. A little bit more throw range. The timing on getting that flip attack is a nightmare. I was waiting for him to just get in front of me, pretty much. I wasn't going to bother turning around for him. It might actually be that I need to use the bombs that those skeleton blazes throw to break some of this stuff. I don't remember. Actually, you guys are the ones that dropped the ancient memory, so I should be killing you. Case in point. Now we can make more things, which in this particular case, I'm going to make more armor. Because we're falling a little bit behind on the armor game. That's why our health has been suffering a bit. As I keep saying, this game's not that hard, but if you are stupid and don't keep your gear up, you're gonna make it hard for yourself. So just don't do that. I'll go ahead and make this now. Yeah, I was pretty sure I was right in remembering that. This is the bamboo sword. Bit of a joke weapon. But there's a reason for it to exist. It can be made into something significantly better. Or from what I remember. Otherwise, it's unremarkable. It has the same moveset as this Y-hander. As you can see, it's a completely workable weapon, even though it only adds 5 attack to you. But you will be here for a while, hitting things with this bamboo sword. It's a good weapon if you're trying to steal. It gives you the ability to knock them around and keep them out of your way without killing them. But I think that'll do it for now. Another one that didn't go very long, but conditions will be conditions. And this gives you all a very good initial idea of what this game's gonna be all about. I anticipate it will probably take me, if I go a decent amount of time, 2 more streams of this to finish the game. If I go short or spend a lot of time screwing around, it'll probably be 3. But I think that will do it for me for today. And we actually have the opportunity to raid Critter for once in a while after she changed what time she streams. So we'll go ahead and do that. She's good people. So as always, thank you all for being here. For whatever reason you've all chosen to be here. I always appreciate it. Have a good one and be good to her.